Source: Love Flops. Welcome back to AniRecapz. Like and subscribe so you never miss our quality uploads. In his dreams, Asahi saw a mysterious girl and chases her only to wake up from his dream. While having his breakfast, Asahi watches the fortune teller's show on TV. The fortune teller says this future is for those born on October 8, which happens to be Asahi's birthday. The teller says 6 words: corner, train, staircase, cleaning robot, dog, and letter. Asahi thought it was fake. Loverin, his AI robot, told him to hurry up for school. On his way, he watches time and finds out it was still early. Then he ran into a girl in a corner. She apologized and ran away out of embarrassment. Asahi picked up the panties which Aoi dropped and it was wrapped. He did not open it and thought it was a handkerchief. He then rushes to the train station and aboard an empty train. A woman just came in and sit near him. He wonders if she chose the seat near him when the full train was empty. She was half asleep and started to lean against him, and when he tried to separate her from him, they fall down and he mistakenly groped her huge watermelons. But then out of reflex, she kicked him with an inhuman level of full speed and force, but she misses and bends the train's handle, scaring the shit out of MC. Though he luckily escaped from that situation while apologizing. He then came across some staircase and starts to remember the past events, but he shrugs it off as a coincidence. He goes down and a yellow-haired girl tripped over the stairs and fell over Asahi. When she notices she is over him and sees his bananas case and mistook it for a real rod, called him a pervert and hit him on the spot. Damn! And runs away from the scene, leaving behind knocked Asahi. On his way to school, he reached a garden. Then, a cleaning robot came to him and Asahi notices it has a bra with enlargement pads. Then, a red-haired loli came and accused him of controlling the eye and stealing her bra. Asahi denies this, but then, the robot caught her clothes and tried to take away her panties, which makes her cry. She called Asahi and asked him to stop the robot, but Asahi refutes this with reasoning. To avoid the situation, the girl ran away while Asahi goes on his way only to find a dog that is doing questionable stuff with a girl.
What the dog doing?
Wait, that's a girl, right? He asked MC to help him, but he decides to ignore it. The dog then notices MC and attacks him. He got unconscious, and after waking up, some kindergarten kids were poking his face. He looks at the time and quickly rushed over to the academy as he is late. He sneaks into his class only to find seats have changed and the 5 persons he met so far are in his class. This made him awkward to see them head on. The 4 of them were transfer students from different countries. The homeroom teacher notices Asahi and calls him out. Asahi was left with no choice but to face straight and got forced to make a weird face using Sneak 100. At first, the girls didn't notice him, but soon, the girls remembered him and got embarrassed. They all slapped him in the face. On break, Yoshio became curious about Asahi's situation. During PE class, Yoshio explains the traits of the 5 girls and asked whether one of them is his type. Asahi is afraid to talk about it, since he thought they might hate him. So Yoshio advised him to clear up the misunderstandings. Asahi then goes to his locker and finds a letter from someone about meeting up near the cherry tree. On his way, he came across Aoi again but didn't bump into each other this time. She asks him whether he has something from the time they first met. Asahi, realizing, searches his pocket and brings out the bra, which he picked up the time he met Amelia. Why would you even keep it on your pants? Embarrassed by this, she slapped him. In the cafeteria, he met Marina, who gave him the banana since the food machine was out of food. This cleared up the misunderstanding, and she thanked him heartily. He then takes a vending machine in the campus area and notices Ilya getting chased by the same dog as before. He rushes over to Asahi and asks for his help, but the dog then bit him instead of the boy-girl, and it deeply traumatizes him. She deeply thanked him while MC asked him or her to be more careful. Holding his left hand that was bitten by the dogs, he goes to his class. His homeroom teacher, Mongfa, notices and took him to the infirmary. She gave him proper treatment. Mongfa asks what she needs, but Amelia says she can manage it on her own, and so she leaves the room. Amelia asks MC for adhesive bandages. Asahi decides to lend her his help and Amelia says she is chafing around her chest. Realizing what she meant, Asahi returned the bra while Amelia lashed him by calling him a pervert. But Asahi denies it and talks it out. She understands and thanked him. Yoshio asks Asahi whether he cleared the misunderstandings or not, and Asahi tells him he did, but one got worse. He then sees a letter under his desk. He then goes to return the panties while Aoi confesses her love for him, which surprised him. Although he is not against it, he shares that each one has their own pleasures and predilections. This makes Aoi wonder.
Those are panties, right? Well, those are okay. Those were panties? My eyes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Because I thought, guys, that my brain was just playing tricks on me. I'm not the only one, right? I'm not the only one? Or is that an actual fucking handkerchief? And my brain has just been broken by watching too many ecchi anime. Yo. Oh, it was panties! It was in my mind! Bros!
He therefore asks her if she is not wearing anything down there. Puzzled Aoi asks what he means. Then a gust of air lifts her skirt up, revealing her chiri. She then blushes and tries to explain that she was so nervous that she forgot. Not that she forgot to wear any. She was wearing a pair, but now she lost it after meeting him. As she tries to clarify further, Asahi points something is stuck high in the cherry tree. He explains that it may have been hers as he picked it up after their collision from earlier on their way to school. She then gets super embarrassed and runs away screaming. MC starts to wonder, what was that all about? He then starts walking, thinking about what she just said. He pauses and right then Ilya jumps him from behind, barking like a dog. Asahi takes cover and starts panicking. He realizes that it was a prank and starts scolding Ilya. He immediately apologizes as he did not think it would shock MC so much. They sit on the stairs. MC asks him what he needs from him. Ilya struggles to speak to him, so MC asks if it is hard to talk about it. He affirms, so Asahi stands up and leaves, stating if he doesn't want to tell him, he will not stay. Ilya stands up and states he loves him, which shocks our poor MC again.
I don't like where this is going.
He tries to clarify with Ilya.
It's a trap!
Ilya says that every time he thinks of Asahi, his heart skips a beat. Asahi asks him why he likes him. Ilya replies that he sacrificed himself to save him from the dogs earlier.
That's not a girl.
Is that a trap?
No, it's...
All of a sudden, their new homeroom teacher, Bai Mongfa, rushes in and grabs Asahi away. They rush to an alley and she apologizes to Asahi. A group of men rush towards the alley and find a couple locked in a passionate embrace.
FBI should be knocking on this door any minute now.
They move on as they seem to be looking for someone or something. The couple turned out to be Asahi and Bai, with Asahi blocking the view of the men. Bai had buried her head in Asahi's neck to hide her face. Asahi sees that the men have left and informs his teacher. She lets him go and apologizes for the shock he received. Asahi sinks to the ground, revealing several kiss marks all over his neck. He asks who those guys were and she explains they were underlings of someone who likes her, but she didn't like the man as she already rejected him. As she apologizes again, he tells her that giving kiss marks should only be given to someone you love. Bai declares that she loves him. Asahi points out that she is a teacher and he is her student. She replies that she is a woman and he is a man. She seductively asks if he likes her too, giving him a glimpse of her luscious watermelons. Asahi stares at the mounds and hesitates to give a reply. He jumps out of the alley and runs. Asahi starts wondering what is happening as he climbs a walkway. He is spotted by Karen Estelle. She quickly changes into a wedding dress and jumps on Asahi. He avoids her by running away and pretending he doesn't know her. Karen chases after him. Asahi feels that she is up to something shady. She explains that she is the most talked about model and points up toward the billboards. Asahi sees her as an endorser for different products with billboards plastered all over the place. He asks her if her wedding dress is for a photo shoot. She explains that she is on her way to a wedding. He congratulates her and wishes her all the best and leaves. She grabs him and he realizes that he is the groom. He asks why, and she also declares her love for him. She leads him not to the entrance of a church, but to a love motel. Asahi questions how she skipped a few steps, but says they have to say their vows. He says that any guy would be happy to get a marriage proposal from a popular model. This makes Karen happy, and Asahi caresses her face. He asks her to close her eyes. She is happy that she is tying the knot with Asahi. She tells him how she was waiting for her vows and asks not to be kept in suspense. Asahi, however, had used the opportunity to escape. These crazy events are bothering our MC as he continues to go home. A loli who was asking for signatures approaches him. MC tells her that he is in a hurry, but she stops him and asks him to give her a quick signature. She explains that it will only take a minute and bows at Asahi. He relents and takes the clipboard and starts writing his name. He reads the form and realizes that it is a marriage contract. He immediately throws the paper away.
かすり傷のようだな。ありがとう、お兄ちゃん、お姉ちゃん。ああ、こんな頭のおかしい集団がはびこる街に。待って、どんな字を書くの？書いてみて、お兄ちゃん。あ、俺の名前はね。
The girl reveals herself to be Amelia Irving, another foreign exchange classmate from America. He scolds her and states that she is not even old enough to get married. She reasons that the age will work itself out. He is exasperated with the events and leaves her as a trash-collecting robot approaches her. The robot, programmed to collect unnecessary items, collects her bra as it was holding on to nothing anyway. Asahi finally arrives home. He is surprised to see all 5 girls inside his house waiting for him. He closes the door and starts rubbing, collecting his thoughts. He thought he had the wrong house, but they tell him he is in the right place. He wonders why they are all there. Lovelin, his house robot, tells him he has a message. He reads it out loud. The message is from his dad, explaining that everyone in the house was a potential bride for him. He says that all of them are hot and one is even a boy. He believes that in this day and age, one must not limit based on gender. So starting this day, they will all live in the same house. He can choose one of them or none of them on his desired choice. The only rule was not to have a kid. The girls suddenly start competing for his attention and crowd around him. He shouts for all of them to stop. He tells all of them to leave, as his dad arranged it without him knowing. The girls explain that they have no place to go as they used to live in hotels. Asahi says they can go back to the hotel as the house has no space for 5 extra people. Karen points out that there are 6 rooms on the 2nd floor. This surprised Asahi because there were only 3 rooms. He then realizes the extra corridor on the 2nd floor, which indeed houses the extra 3 rooms. The girls then ask if they can all live there as there is enough space. Asahi tries to find reasons why the girls should not leave with him. Aoi asks if he doesn't like them. All the girls look at Asahi and he is unable to reply. The girls cook dinner together and they eat. Karen tries to feed Asahi, but Amelia and Ilya try to do the same. This angers Asahi again, and he tells them he can feed himself. The girls clean up, and Aoi serves Asahi tea. She seats next to him and thanks him for not kicking them out. Asahi replies that as long as they don't cause trouble. He glances at Aoi's huge melons. Ilya comes over with dessert and tries feeding Asahi the banana bread. Asahi decides to go have a bath. Karen tries to join him, but he kicks her out. However, as he starts his bath, he finds Amelia snorkeling in the bathtub. He asks her to leave, but she refuses and he ends up leaving. Inside his room, he checks each corner. As he lies down, Bae scares him from the ceiling. He screams. He gathers all the girls and reminds them not to cause any hassle. He again asks them to go out, but since they have no place to go, he decides to leave. Aoi finds him nearby. She explains how she had been wondering what type of person he was, and all of them have been anxious and excited to meet him. This may explain why they all acted that way. She apologizes and asks him to go home. She says that they will leave if he wants them to. She assures him they will be fine. Asahi decides to let them stay, but no more messing around. She promises that they will do their best. He tells her that it's all good. This triggers a memory inside Aoi, and she starts to cry. They head back and find the others all packed. Asahi tells them they can all stay and they start their wacky life together. After a few days, Asahi is awoken by his alarm. He finds that all the locks on his doors have been unlocked and Emilia is hiding under the covers. She uses her big toe to sign the marriage contract. He screams at her. At breakfast, he explains to Aoi that every day there is always an attempt and he cannot take it anymore. Aoi says it just shows how much everyone loves him. Karen goes down and asks where the face towels are, so Aoi points her in the right direction. When she leaves, Asahi asks why Aoi has never invaded his room. Before she answers, Bae comes down looking for her tablet. Aoi gives it to her, explaining she left it on the sofa yesterday. Bae thanked her as Aoi even charged the tablet for her. Emilia comes down with a bath towel and asks where she can find bras, and Aoi also tells her where to get it. Ilya comes down to help Aoi with making breakfast. He can write in kanji Aoi's name with ketchup. Emilia then comes down and tries to write Asahi's name with ketchup, but she ends up getting angry and dumps ketchups all over it. In school, they are going to do kanji writing exercises. Emilia looked kind of sick, so Yoshio asks what was wrong with her. Asahi explained she ate a lot of ketchup with her breakfast. The teacher calls on Karen to write the kanji. She goes to the board and writes kanji beautifully, earning her praise from the teacher and the class. Loli Amelia volunteers to be the next one. Her attempt, however, made her write murky white liquid instead of fresh milk due to her bad kanji. She passes it off as a joke, but the whole class laughs and she gets embarrassed. When the teacher leaves, she tells them that they will have a kanji writing test next week. The class groans about the test. Amelia tries to invite Asahi for lunch but finds him missing from his chair. It turns out he and Yoshio are on the roof eating lunch. Yoshio shares her admiration for Amelia as she is always trying her best. Asahi explains that it is because she doesn't want to lose. He tells him how the other day she lost a game of rock, paper, scissors to a TEV show for 2 straight weeks. She studied all night to devise a way to never lose. She challenges anyone to try her new method, and if they win, she will give them her extra special pudding. However, she ends up losing again and starts crying when they try to eat her pudding. Yoshio notices that Asahi is having more fun than he expected and he is relieved. However, as Asahi is distracted, Yoshio grabs food from his lunch and eats it. Asahi scolds him for grabbing his food. Yoshio comments that with a selection like his, he could spare some. Asahi explains they are all his favorite foods. Yoshio comments that learning and making your favorite food is a sign of real love. Asahi realizes that he has not talked to Aoi about his favorite food, yet she cooked a selection of it for him. After having dinner, Asahi notices Amelia missing. Ilya tells him that she went to her room immediately after dinner. Asahi climbs up to her room. As he approaches her door, he hears moaning and Amelia saying no, not there. This scandalizes Asahi as he turns red and wonders what she is doing. When he storms into her room, she finds out that she was practicing kanji with a sexual training diary novel. She explains she can study however she likes and that she has to ace the upcoming test. She laments how she is having a hard time mastering the characters that even his idiot friend, Yoshio, could easily do. She needs to be good at the country's language. Asahi decides to tutor her after school the following day. They go to the library to study as Asahi wants to prevent others from getting the wrong idea about them. He gives her a test to measure her current level. She is hesitant at first, but eventually agrees to do it. After the test, she says that it was too easy. MC is shocked at the results as she uses words, which she learned from the novel. They try again with similar results. He wonders why she cannot write simple kanji when she can do all those difficult ones. He then recommends they do special training to help her master kanji. During dinner, Bai brings out pudding for dessert as it's Amelia's favorite. However, she is nowhere to be found. Later, as Asahi leaves the toilet, he notices a light from Amelia's room. He realizes that she is working late again just mastering her kanji. The following day, she continues to work on them even during class hours. In the library, Asahi continues to monitor her kanji work. When he invites her to go home, she tells him how she wants to stay longer, so she asks him to go ahead and leave without her. He asks why she is trying so hard as there are 1 or 2 things one is not good at. He emphasizes that working hard is okay, but she should not go overboard just for the test score. She gets frustrated by this and tells him, trying and getting no results is pointless. Trying and not succeeding is the same as not trying at all. She believes that results are everything. She confesses that she wants to be able to use his language too. After saying that, she cries and runs away. At home, the girls are worried about how Amelia locked herself in her room and did not even bother with dinner. They ask Asahi if he knows anything. He just stands up and says he will check on her. Amelia sits on her bed inside her dark room. Asahi knocks and says he will be coming inside. He turns on the light and put a paper bag on the bed. He sits beside her and tells her how everyone is worried about her. Asahi tries to talk to her about what happened in the library, but she asks him to leave her alone. Asahi gets up to leave, but Amelia starts crying and calls herself an idiot. She knows how he said that was out of concern for her, but her emotions got the best of her, and so she got mad. She confesses that she wants to thank him and be honest with him, but she always acts differently. This makes her an asshole and she hates herself for it. With tears streaming down her cheeks, she asks Asahi if she hates girls like her, self-centered and unable to share their true feelings. Asahi sits back on her bed and tells her he thinks it's fine. He explains that getting emotional means you are a sensitive person. He further states that hating to lose can also be seen as having high standards. Even being stubborn is a sign of a never-say-die attitude. He tells her she appreciates her hard work, and it is not pointless that she tried. He also commends her for trying to learn his language and says it makes him happy. He pats her head and tells her not to hate herself. This triggers a memory inside Amelia which causes her to pause and stop crying. She notes that Asahi telling her that she is interesting is not very flattering to a girl. He should have said he loves her or she is cute, even if it was a lie. He responds that he hates lying. He gives her the paper bag which contains flashcards to help her memorize kanji better. She thanks him. MC notices the girls spying on them from the door. He commands the door to open, which makes all the girls come crashing in. Bai explains they thought Amelia might want some pudding. The next day, Amelia goes around the house labeling items in kanji. They all take the test. Amelia passes the test with a grade of 70. The others are surprised that she is not disappointed with the results. She tells them she is okay because she worked hard. She flips through the flashcards Asahi gave her and says she has someone that appreciates her efforts. At lunch, Yoshio comments on how Amelia has changed. Asahi finds a thank you note in his bento box, which was the lunch Amelia helped Aoi to prepare. His lovely lunch turned out to be omuris, with his name perfectly written in kanji on it.
俺、イリアが女の子だって全然気づいてなくて。
そんな謝らないでください。別に気にしてませんから。そうよね。やっぱり延期した方がいいかも。だってこの寒さだしね。スバイがずっと楽しみにしてたのは。
With this, we end our video. Stay tuned for the next part and watch our other quality contents. Stay safe. Bye.